Oh my god, I'm so tired. I can't wait to get my morning Thai tea. Huh? It's cloudy outside? Where'd all the palm trees go? Radish, where'd you come from? Is that my Funko collection? Could we be in New York? Okay, sorry for the corny intro. If you couldn't tell, I am officially back in New York. That might have been a little bit confusing if you're new here, so let me pause for a second. I'm Wesley Anna. I usually live in New York, but I just spent the last 3 months traveling, and as of 6 p.m. last night, I am officially back in the city. We had to take an 18-hour flight all the way from Singapore, which, if you didn't know, is the longest flight in the world, but luckily we had those solo premium economy seats, which kind of feel a little bit like business class without the business class price. So on the schedule for the next few days is to unpack, get clean, organized, do some grocery shopping, just get my life together and in order as best as I can. I definitely think seeing family at home and traveling to Japan, which you can see all of that here, I'll link it somewhere. Thailand as well. Those are all amazing experiences. Happy to have done it, but I miss my apartment. And as with every new era, we have to start with everyone's least favorite chore, which is unpacking. We have some of these suitcases we still need to unpack. We did a lot of it this morning. There's also all of this random crap everywhere. I also have to say, I missed clothing so much. I think I was living in the same 3 shirts and 1 pair of pants and 1 jacket for 2 months. Power-ups, hair clip, coffee, podcast, ready to go. I know it's been a while since we caught up, so just as a quick refresher, both my fiance and I lost our jobs at the end of last year, and it was the first time since we've been together that both of us would have the freedom and flexibility to do an extended trip in Asia without having to worry about how we're going to take calls at 3 a.m. and still maintain our sanity. So we took a leap of faith and booked a one-way flight to Japan and Thailand. Here's a little preview of some of the souvenirs I got in Japan. Let me know if you want a full breakdown because I got a lot of stuff and we gotta find a place to put it now. If you're wondering, like many people, how we can afford to travel while unemployed, it came down to a few factors like number 1, utilizing points for flights, number 2, subleasing our place for a portion of the time we were gone, and 3, the fact that I was still making a modest living as a creator, even if it wasn't enough to comfortably sustain the both of us back in New York. Oh, and it also helps that a bowl of noodles in hehe is like $1.75, so the longer you stay abroad, the more you end up actually saving compared to staying in a high cost of living area. All right, progress so far. I went ahead and divided everything into sections. So all my desk stuff is here, kitchen stuff, bathroom stuff, closet, all up in there. We're gonna take a break and go get some fresh air, maybe grab a second coffee, little breakfast since we got up early, enjoy some of that New York early March gloom. It's in the 40s outside and we have spent the last 5 weeks in 95-degree weather and humidity, so I'm kind of unsure how to dress in anything that is not shorts and a t-shirt anymore. Ooh, very unused to wearing sweater. Time to trade in my Birks that have served me well. And now we're back to cozy season. Actually feels kind of nice outside. Ali has vetoed my gentrified coffee shop idea and wants a bodega sandwich instead.
Gotta do with the local.
Coming home has brought a lot of changes, and not just because everyone around me speaks English again, but also the fact that I'm now a full-time creator and there's no longer any end goal like quit my job to work for myself or work until I can travel again. It's just me, working on my dream until there comes a point where I decide to do something different. I absolutely love the freedom, but the sudden lack of structure is going to take some time to adjust to. I wouldn't say I'm an undisciplined person, especially when it comes to doing things I enjoy, but without any external deadlines guiding me throughout the day, it can be easy to fall into a routine of puttering around the house and procrastinating until the day before a video is scheduled to release. I've not had one of these babies in a hot minute. Ready? Ready for this? Oh, the steam. Ooh. Look at that cheese. That is perfection. And only $4.50, actually not that bad. Oh, that's good. So as you can tell, I have a lot of clothing cluttering my closet, and part of that is because of how much fast fashion I've consumed in the past. I'm not proud, but I'm trying to be better about it. Lately, I've been much pickier about the clothing I do allow in my closet, and another big goal of mine this year is to get into sewing because knowing how to hem and tailor and upcycle clothing can really breathe new life into what you already own. Sewing can be a tricky hobby to pick up on your own, but one way I've been able to learn is through resources like Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes in fields like business, design, productivity, and pretty much anything you can think of. Everything is self-paced, so you can fit it into your schedule in a way that makes sense for you. All of the classes are outcome-oriented instead of just theoretical, so they're designed to teach you skills that can actually be applied to your day-to-day life. One of the newer features of Skillshare is the learning paths that you can now take. If you're not sure where to start, they curate a collection of classes based on what exactly you want to learn. Instead of searching for individual classes, I can just follow a pre-selected list of classes that are designed to build off of each other. One of the paths I recently discovered was sew custom clothing from scratch. If you've ever tried to sew on your own before, you'll already know that there's so many ways things can go wrong, and having a professional guide me while I was learning has been invaluable. I also have a Skillshare class around building your brand on YouTube, so if content creation is something you're interested in, you can check that out as well. If you want to give it a try, you can sign up using my link in the description. The first 500 people to use my link will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Thank you again to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Okay, it's been 2 hours and it looks like I've made zero progress. Still got all of this. And most of it's because there was a lot of clothes I had to refold. I think I might use this as an opportunity to just get rid of some stuff. Or at least put in a suitcase for now. Yeah, I mean, I have 50 pairs of socks and no normal person needs 50 pairs of socks. Let's see what else we can get rid of. I found Frida.
Frida? Where are you hiding?
She's at the bottom of the bucket with my clothes. Catch. I think the jet lag is finally catching up to me. I've been very into playing Stardew Valley recently. It reminds me a lot of Animal Crossing New Horizons. Throwback to 2020 lockdown times. There's a little more content in this, not even a tenth of the way through everything this game has to offer. But if you're someone who really likes farm sims, indie games, cozy games in general, then I highly recommend this. Very thankful to my past self who ordered groceries from Amazon Fresh right before we got on our plane. It just arrived, so now we actually have stuff for the fridge and can cook and don't have to keep ordering takeout, which is quite nice since we've been away for so long. So I figured we'd probably just make some really simple meals since we just got back. Kind of taking inspiration from my college days, we're just gonna do some quesadillas. Got the tortilla and cheese, and then...
Cheese, you told me we're gonna have steak every night. Lies!
Steak to go in the quesadilla. And then we got, our limes, salsa, some avocado. We're also gonna do probably just a really simple tomato pasta. Probably mix in some of this ground turkey for some protein, and then maybe chop up a few veggies, some zucchini and tomatoes, so that should be pretty nutritious. Finally have my Nespresso machine back, can make lattes at home, and then with some shrimp, some broccoli, some good proteins and vegetables to keep in the freezer, and one treat just to have. I actually really like these mini ones because they're pretty satisfying as a dessert, but you don't have to commit to a whole ice cream bar. I know it seems like a really simple thing, but I'm honestly so happy to have fresh groceries. I don't think we cooked a single time since the beginning of the year. So 2024, I have not cooked a single meal, which I guess is probably one of the good things about traveling. It makes you appreciate all the things that you get to have at home that you can't have abroad. Okay, I think I am going to start with a little bit of pasta for lunch. Oh, we didn't order any garlic or onion. Forgot about all the normal things that you expect to already have in your fridge. It's like there's this constant pressure to reinvent ourselves and to create this perfect version of our lives. It feels like every time I open YouTube, I see another glow up vlog feeding us the same narrative that you can become your shiny new self overnight. Or even the title Getting My Life Together vlog, which, guilty, I've done in the past. What does it even mean to get our lives together? That implies that there's some sort of finish line or final goalpost, but this isn't a game where you can achieve 100% perfection. In fact, games get boring once you have nothing left to strive for. So maybe we just need to accept that the friction caused by the ups and downs of different seasons of life is actually kind of the point of living in the first place. Wait, I totally forgot about the ground turkey. Oops. Okay. Doesn't look that appetizing, but it has vegetables, it has protein, and I made it. So what more could he ask for? What year is it?
3002.
3002?
Yes.
I still haven't finished unpacking. It's 3 p.m. We're gonna make ourselves another coffee, and if it kills me, I will finish cleaning up this apartment before the end of the day. We're almost there. Just a little bit more to go. If you couldn't already tell by the fact that I'll be finished unpacking in an hour, meanwhile it's taken me all day, I struggle with a long list of mental hurdles, as we'll call them, including but not limited to ADHD, OCD, and good old-fashioned general anxiety. All of these factors make it even more difficult to do simple things like putting away your clothes after a long trip. This is what we're working with here. The ice has all clustered together since we haven't used it or broken it up in several months. Tools like therapy and medication can help to a degree, but part of it is also learning to forgive myself for not always functioning at the same level as my peers. All right, power up. I can do this. I can do this. Which is something I'm still working on, but I think acknowledging these struggles to both myself and others around me is all a part of the process. This is the trusty sweater that lasted me through 3 weeks in Japan. And I hope by admitting these things to you, you might even find it just a little bit easier to accept yourself, quirks and all. Okay, I think part of my problem earlier was that I was listening to a podcast, and so it kind of slowed down since I was trying to multitask. This time I'm gonna just put on some music, hype myself up, and hopefully this will go by a little bit quicker. We did it. We're done. I got all of my closet and clothes and everything. All the crap that was down here is all organized. Shoes are where they should be. Gym stuff where it should be. Jewelry stand, all nice and neat. Part of the reason this took so long was because instead of just unpacking, which by the way, I forget if I mentioned earlier, we did have subleasers. So we packed away a bunch of stuff that was not just in our suitcases that we brought, but also I left at the beginning of December and now it is the beginning of March. So I was also trying to do kind of like a seasonal turnover. And I know we still have a couple more weeks of kind of like winter weather, but I have, 8 beanies. Why do I need 8 beanies? I never wear them. Probably not gonna wear earmuffs, scarves. Again, the 12,000 socks I have. So we're just getting rid of some of this and going to pack it away. All suitcases are away, all unpacked, and I think we made good progress today. As much as I loved traveling in my youth, I'm finding that now that I'm in my 30s, it's not as much of a priority anymore. I'm privileged and lucky enough to already have seen a lot of the places I always dreamed of, and now my priorities are shifting towards putting equity into my future. No, not a house. That's still a very far off reality, unfortunately, but building a new career for myself, investing in relationships, committing to new skills and hobbies, and generally just trying to find a good rhythm that makes me feel at peace. Most of the time, at least. Wow, I'm never up early enough to see the morning sunlight like this. I'll show you guys the progress I made yesterday. I actually did end up cleaning up my desk and everything else. I was just too tired to film. But everything looks nice now. So you can see all my stuff is back out. I've hooked up my workspace, cleaned up this area, got my boyfriend in his prime position, and then kitchen is all clean, entryway Bathroom, not very exciting, but clean. Yesterday definitely felt like the longest day of my life, but I'm very glad I pushed through because I got to wake up to a very normal house today and it feels much better. All right, so yesterday was focused on cleaning and resetting my physical space. And now that we have that done and my beautiful desk is set up again, I'm gonna focus more on resetting my digital space, getting my routines back together, habits and everything, kind of just figure out what I want my new schedule to be because life is gonna be very different here than it was across the world. And I'm gonna drink a little bit more of this, wake up a little bit more, get a little more energy. I love this morning light, but I did not realize that it makes it very hard to work when the sun is shining directly at your computer. All right, while I'm waiting for the sun to leave my computer alone, let's take a look at my plants because I did not have time to check on them yesterday, and some are doing okay, some are not doing as okay. So I planted these cuttings here and up here, and it looks like they're actually doing pretty well. This guy, however, yeah, he's gonna need a little TLC. Of course, succulents always thriving. I did have a friend in the building come and water occasionally, and there were some people staying at our place. Some people watered too, but the schedule is really sporadic, and some of these guys need a very regular watering schedule. They're very needy, including my bonsai, which was my pride and joy. I don't know if he's gonna make it. He looked like this when we got back from DC, and I was able to water it and it bloomed again within like a week. But I think I see a little bit of mold in here, which is telling me that the root might not be alive anymore. So I might take this apart and see. Yeah, I think this guy's definitely done for. This one's doing okay. He looks about the same. This one, Spider Mite City. We had a really bad spider mite problem in the couple months before we left, and we tried everything. We did neem oil, predatory mites, gave them showers once a week, and nothing we did would prevent them from coming back. And I thought I had gotten rid of them with the predatory mites, but it looks like, yeah, I can literally see them crawling around their webs right now. So I think this bonsai is officially done for because I don't have the mental capacity to take care of spider mites anymore.
Or shall we say, the predator became the prey.
Someone's feeling chipper this morning.
Just a ray of sunshine.
I do think the plant that did the best was our Monstera, which doesn't surprise me because these guys are known for being pretty resilient. It's actually still doing quite well. Like, it has new leaves that are opening up. These leaves got a lot bigger and they had their holes, which means that it's getting a lot of light and it's starting to let light down to the leaves at the bottom. Another one that did not do so well. I don't think he's gonna make it. This guy actually did really well. He grew quite a bit. I also have this one that's doing really well. I mean, you can see all of the new leaves. There's a little bit of dryness on the edges, but otherwise looks like he's very happy. Snake plant also grew quite a bit. This one, I really should learn the name of the plants. I have them in my Planta app, but I just never say them out loud. Definitely thriving in this corner.
That is a Snube Balumbe plant from the tall mountains of Peru.
So I'm happy at least a few of them made it out. Very sad about my bonsais because they were definitely my pride and joy, but we're gonna see if this one can maybe survive. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of gently, you know, massage these dead leaves off. Yeah, the soil underneath is pretty wet. It's actually soaked. So that tells me that the plant has not been drinking water, which means that the roots are probably dead. I actually don't really know anything about plants. Can you Google to see how to tell if it's still alive? I think I'm just making things up. Guess we'll give it a few days. Try to revive my zombie plant. I'm looking pretty petrified, but we'll give it a shot. I feel like we need to hold a funeral for these little guys. So long, plants. Okay, so typically when I want to do a life reset, I like to start with a little brain dumping or journaling, but my brain is a mashed potato right now, so we're gonna keep it simple. And instead, I'm just gonna do like a fresh start page, and I'm gonna start brainstorming how I want my new schedule to look and how I want to time block my calendar. Because if I can get that done, I think the rest of it will take care of itself in the next coming days and weeks. I'm a really big fan of time blocking just because it helps me stay focused, and I have really bad time blindness, so if I don't see things on a calendar, then it won't get done, or I just imagine that I'm someone who has 100 hours in a day instead of 24, and I overload myself. So that's how we prevent that from happening. So this is how I'm just kind of mapping out the page. Okay, now that we're done, I'm going to input all of this into my calendar on Akiflow. All right, I think we're done. Again, this is just a very rough skeleton to start working with. A couple things that I'm trying out right now is, number one, I used to schedule my calendar back to back, and that was horrible because things take longer than you expect. You need bathroom breaks, snack breaks, sanity breaks. So now I always make sure that if I have tasks or blocks set up, that I leave at least a 15-minute interval in between so there's time for that overflow. I also try not to overschedule myself too much. So I try to have all my cutoff times at 6 p.m. That'll give me a little bit of either, again, overflow if things come up, if I need to do some sort of admin task, or maybe just my brain stopped working and I need some time to wind down before I go to Muay Thai. I do keep my calendar open to accommodate for that. I mentioned this in a previous video, but I'm actually in the middle of redesigning my Notion. It's been a very long process because I'm trying to make it not perfect, because you can't really get perfection, but I really want to do it the right way this time around. And I think it requires a lot of back-end design and tinkering, and it's just been a very long several months process. So I'm still figuring out how I'm going to integrate that into Akiflow and kind of like time blocking my tasks, but I don't want to wait for things to be perfect to get started. So I think this is good enough for now. And once I sort of test out this new schedule, I'll make some adjustments to it and kind of figure out what works best in this new season of life. All right, we have officially gotten our life semi together, like 30% of the way there. Still a lot to do, but I think as long as my environment is clean, I have my basic scheduling and everything done, that's a good enough start. And I'm very excited for this new chapter back in New York. Thanks for watching me run around and be scattered and chaotic for the last 36 hours. I hope this was helpful, if not at least entertaining. Let me know what you want to see next, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.